All right, thank you guys. Now real quick, if you find yourself enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you want to connect with me on a daily basis, please make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. Enjoy the Brock Page family. I'd love to have you. Now guys, I'm feeling great on a Wednesday morning because we went 3-2 in our 5 premium sports picks on brockpage.com yesterday. We're also 8-3 in our last 11 NBA tier package picks on that very same website. And the good news is we have another NBA tier package pick going off here this evening. We're also 11-1 with a push in our last 13 extra daily picks on that very same webpage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We currently have over 915 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. And with that said, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our NHL slate. Very short, modified slate, but a couple of interesting angles here, so let's go ahead and dive in. The Avalanche take on the Canucks, 9 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Colorado's -160, total 6. Darcy Kemper's the expected goaltender for the Avs. Thatcher Demko for Vancouver. Now Demko's just 5-6 on this season. 333 goals against average, 898 save percentage. Vancouver lost their last 4 straight, 2-8 straight up in their last 10. Vancouver's in the bottom 10 in goals allowed per contest. Meanwhile, offensively, they're scoring only 2.5 goals a game. They're taking on a Colorado team who's on a 2-game winning streak and does a real nice job of scoring on average per game. Matter of fact, the Avs have scored 4 goals or more in 6 out of their last 8. Nazem Kadri has 14 points thus far in the year, 10 assists for the center. Meanwhile, Gabe Landeskog has 12 points as well and currently finds himself a +7. Colorado's averaging nearly 33 shots on goal a game. Meanwhile, defensively, Darcy Kemper's 6-4 through 10 starts, 261 goals against average, 914 save percentage. Now, injury-wise, McKinnon and Byram are still out. Kaut is questionable. Meanwhile, for the Canucks, Suter and Shen are still out for them. Pullman is questionable as well. Now, total-wise, the Canucks are 6-1 to the under at home, 63% to the under for the whole season. I'm going to lean toward Colorado -160, under 6. Next game, Blackhawks, Kraken, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Seattle's -150, totals 5.5. Philip Grubauer for Seattle, Marc-Andre Fleury for Chicago. Fleury's just 3-7 on this season, 350 goals against average, 897 save percentage. The Blackhawks are in the bottom 10 in goals allowed, and they're still winless on the road this season. They're taking on a Seattle team who leads the NHL in defensive shots on goal. They're holding their opponents to just 26 shots on goal a game. Meanwhile, offensively on the other end of the ice, these guys are in the top 10 in third period scoring at home. Jordan Eberle has 8 goals on this season, 12 total points for Jordan. Now, injury-wise, Johansson and Blackwell are still out indefinitely. Meanwhile, for Chicago, Johnson is questionable for tonight's action. Now, the Blackhawks are 67% to the under for the entire season, depending on where you shopped at. Their last 3 straight games all stayed under the total of 5.5 goals as well. I'm going to lean towards Seattle -150, under 5.5. Next and final matchup, Capitals-Kings, 10:30 p.m. East. Both teams are -110, numbers 5.5. Ilya Samsonov for Washington, Johnny Quick for Los Angeles. Despite some really good numbers out of Johnny Quick, the Kings really aren't built for a track meet offensively. They're scoring just 2.7 goals a game, and they also rank in the bottom 10 in scoring on average per contest. Now, equally as bad, the Kings are in the bottom 3 in the NHL in first period scoring at home. They're taking on a Washington club who won 4 out of their last 5 themselves. and they also held their opponents to just 2 goals a game during that span. And speaking of defense, the Caps are holding their opponents to just 26 shots on goal a game. Ilya Samsonov's 4-0 on the year with a .292 goals against average. Meanwhile, scoring-wise, Alex Ovechkin has 12 goals and 26 points for the Caps. And speaking of points, Yevgeny Kuznetsov has 20 points on the year himself. Wilson and Ovechkin are both in the top 5 in the NHL in plus-minus as well. The Caps as a team are in the top 5 in scoring on average per game. Now, injury-wise, Backstrom and Oshie are still out. Eller is questionable. Meanwhile, for the Kings, Arvidsson's listed as questionable for them. Now, total-wise, LA's 7-0 to the under in their last 7 straight. They're officially 73% to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, Washington went 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Washington minus $1.10, under 5.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 8-3 in our last 11 NBA tier package picks. I like Colorado minus 160, under 6 goals. Seattle minus $1.50, under 5.5. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that I'm also 11-1 with a push in my last 13 extra daily picks on brockpage.com as well. I'm going to lean toward Washington minus $1.10, under 5.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Anthony Vito, who said the other day, "You're the best, bro. Straight to the point." And of course, always good to see Anthony Vito in the comment section below. Certainly appreciate you taking the time to leave me a very nice comment. So anyway, thank you, Tony. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you are going to get access to that content all the way through the end of November. Although I do always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. That's really where you're going to get your maximum value. But I'll tell you this much, if you're in it for the long run and you feel like you're going to be sticking around for several months, it really, at that point, doesn't matter when you sign up in the month. You know, just treat it as your entry fee. But anyway, once again, you get billed the day you sign up, then the first of every month. The earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.